Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I am back to work some more on our little to from cards. I did not get a vote from everybody on this, but this is kind of what I had to do. So I apologize. I had all this stuff out and it's like, I just want to finish this. So that's what we're going to do. If you don't want to watch it again, you can feel free to switch off and watch another video or something, but that's just what I'm gonna do today. So I did these little candies yesterday, and I'm gonna do another candy so that I can show you how I did the little pinwheel, you know, of red. Not that you guys couldn't figure it out, but anyways, I will show you. But first I want to do this little house. I like this little tiny house I drew. I just think that that's kind of a fun one. I'm going to come in a little bit closer because I feel like that is super tiny, and it is, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to paint it really well, but we might just kind of do it loosely, like not stress a whole lot about a lot of detail or something. So I think so. I'm just mixing a little bit of different colors, different watercolors on my palette over here. I got it a little too red. I kind of want a little bit of a gingerbread look, you know what I mean? Is what I'm thinking would be fun. Not that this really looks that much like a gingerbread house, but that's what we're gonna go for. I got my pins that I ordered, which I'm excited about. So I got that way too wet. And I'm just using a number 2, I think is what this is. Oh, 8 round. Sorry, lied. I struggle remembering those. I don't use them enough to remember stuff like that. But I hope you guys are doing good. I am doing good. Had a kind of a busy morning again, which seems to be the theme of my life at the moment. I still haven't gotten my oil changed. Yeah, it just gets crazier and crazier as you get closer to Christmas, I feel like, and Thanksgiving and all that, which also is coming next week. So if you don't see me a ton next week, it's because I'm, you know, getting food ready and doing all those types of things. So do not feel left out. I apologize. It's just we're having Thanksgiving here. It's only going to be a few of us, but you know, still gotta get stuff together and ready and shop and all the things. So if I'm not here, that is why. Or is that the week after? I don't know. I'm all messed up on my weeks. I don't even know what day it is, honestly. So whichever week it is, I may not be here all the days. I think I'm a week ahead of myself. But yeah, that's all I did today was run errands and stuff for the shop and whatnot. And I'm leaving some white spots, and that's fine with me. I like that look, so I'm not going to worry about that. And we'll do our little tree, if you could call it a tree over here. It's kind of a silly looking little tree. But it's good. It's a tree. It had to be tall and skinny, so just mixing some color over here. And again, I don't know if I remembered. I don't think I remembered to put those. I can't remember if those watercolors are already in there because I used to do the Watercolor Wednesday, and I have had questions about that. I might try to do a little bit more watercoloring than I've been doing. Kind of just all depends on what strikes my fancy at the moment. I kind of stopped doing Watercolor Wednesday because I didn't have a whole lot of interest or views on it, and that's kind of why I stopped a few of the challenges too, because I think people were challenged out and not really watching. And so yeah, that's kind of why I stopped that, but I might try again. It just depends on what I'm interested in at the moment really is what it comes down to, what I feel like creating, which I really do love watercoloring a lot. Oh, that was awful. If you get too much, you can soak it up with the paper towel. Got a little carried away there, a little too wet. Just adding in different colors. It is hard when it's so tiny, but I think it's fun. And I'm just doing lines, you know. And we'll just let that set. And we're going to add pen again to it, so. Oh, and I wanted to tell you guys, because someone told me, and I'm sorry, you said it, and I got so excited, I went and added alcohol to my Arteza alcohol markers, and it works, because this is the one that wasn't working at all, and it's working. I mean, you can't see it great on there, but it's working again, so I'm very happy about that. I could not get those nibs out, so I don't know if you can see on the Arteza ones. I have no idea about any other ones. These are the only alcohol markers I've ever had, but I just very carefully dripped rubbing alcohol down in there and just let it set, and then I turned it over this way and let it set, you know, just that kind of thing. And it wasn't a ton, but it was enough, and it's working great. So thank you to whoever said that. I am so sorry about not remembering your name very well. I just got excited and was like, ooh, I gotta go try that. And then once you answer those comments, I could go back to the video. I just didn't get a chance to do that. But anyway, it worked, so thank you. So I just did a little sort of like snow down there. Is what I did. And then we have our little roof tiles, but I think I might do those in black. And then, oh, the door, that's what I want. I want to do the door red. I think that'll be fun. And then I'm going to put some other like white and that on there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a very great tip. I mean, duh, I don't know why I didn't think of that, but I just wasn't sure if that would just make the color like non-existent, or, you know, sometimes you add water to stuff and then it messes up the color. But yeah, that little bit really helped those work, which is awesome because they are not cheap alcohol markers. Luckily, I was given those by Arteza when I used to do videos for them, but still, it doesn't mean I want to go have to buy more. You can also get replacements of the Arteza markers, which I do know. Like, you know, you can buy one or whatever. So that is kind of handy. But it was much more handy just to put a few drips of rubbing alcohol in there. All right. Make our little chimney up here. It's very tiny. Surprised my hands are cooperating. Sometimes they do. Okay, and then I might put like a little bit of yellow behind those windows since I made them so huge. Just so they look like they've got a little light coming through them. Maybe a little goldish light. So they look a little shiny. And you don't really want to paint in every single little pane. Kind of want to just give that illusion of light coming through there, right? All right, I'm going to get it dry and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm now dry. This is what I have so far. Not fantastic, but not awful. And we're going to use our white. This is a Signo Uniball white. And I hear they are the best. I have had them and don't have a lot of luck, but I think part of that is because I don't use them like regularly. Like I do this and then, you know, 6 months later I do something else. So I think they just get dry if you don't use them regularly. Like you got to keep that ink moving in there, is sort of how I think it is. I could be wrong. We're going to take the white and go along the edge here, wherever you feel like, basically. And you can add sparkle and all that. And then I'm going to go in these little scallops or whatever these are up here. And I can go back over the whole thing once it's all dry with an eraser, and that'll help get rid of some of my pencil marks. So don't stress about that. I don't know if I want to do any other. Let's wait a minute on that. Use a black. This is just Sharpie. But of course you can use Micron or whatever. Whatever you got. That's a fine line. I like these because they're waterproof, which is very helpful. I suppose I could have done this in the white too, but I just think you'll see it better. That black. This is definitely relaxing, and I would love to do like a once a week watercolor. I just, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of interest in that, so there's a lot of YouTube channels that do watercolor, so I think that's part of it. Plus, I'm not like pro or anything. I just enjoy it. And you can see my line's broken there. I like that. But of course, if you're doing yours and you want total all the lines, then you can do that. I'm gonna do the little, for the roof, I just did almost like rectangles sort of on there to look a little bit like shingles, just something to give it something, so it's not just a straight line. You can do these little houses in 1,000,000 ways. That little window and the door. Silly girl. And the top window. What am I doing? Getting ahead of myself like I always do. Doorknob or door handle, whatever. Cute. I like it. I think I'll go back in with this again and just maybe put a little bit up here, which I know you're not going to see a ton because that's white on white paper, but just to give us a little more snow. And I'm going to go across this a little more. Maybe a little in here. You could even do like almost like icicles. This isn't a super duper fine one, so it's not great, but. And then we can do some splatters on there. I think I'll do the Salty Ocean. Seems to be a good one. You could also paint the background first on something like this, just a real light blue, let it dry, and then do the house. That would also give you a little more. Then when you painted the roof, you would see it better. There's that one. We're gonna let it dry. And then I'll write the two froms. I don't want to do that till it's dry. And let's see. Oh, I wanted to do the candies, again, to show you. I want to let that dry so I don't mess it up. I think I'll do one with like just one of the candies instead of multiple ones. And I'll cut it a little smaller so I have a little bit smaller piece too, along with the big one that I did, because some of those would be way too big for a lot of packages. So easiest thing, you just trace. That last one, I did not erase the lines, and I probably should have, but that's okay. And then you kind of just act like you're drawing a circle as best you can so that you can connect these two edges. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And then what I do to do the little candy swirls is I sort of just eyeball where I think roughly the middle is, and I put a dot there. That just helps me keep on track so I'm not, you know, drawing weird things. And then you just do like an arch, turn it a little, do thinner at the top, wider at the bottom. And you just keep going around like that. And you want about 5 of these roughly if you have this particular stencil. 5 seems to fit pretty good. And they don't have to be perfect. I mean, I know we all like to make them look as good as we can, but sometimes when you're doing stuff by hand and creating by hand, it's just not going to be perfect. That's just how it is. But that's how I got the swirls on the candies, was by doing it that way. So definitely not perfect, but it works. And I did it with my markers, so I'll go ahead and do one with markers too, just so you can see the difference. It really doesn't turn out, I mean, it does turn out different, but it's not like drastic. And it's a little bit faster to use the markers, honestly, but it's just whatever you feel like using. I am erasing this quite a bit because you can see those swirls through the red. Okay, which red am I using? I also added some of that, the alcohol, to some of my reds because they were also getting tired. So very handy indeed. I didn't even try to do it on this end, but when you pour it in that end, it goes inside the whole thing, and it worked. So, and I don't know about other alcohol markers if they are easier to do that with or not, like if the little nibs come out easier. So what kind of projects are you guys working on? Are you working on stuff for Christmas, or are you, you know, a lot of people don't celebrate, I know, but are you working on some other cool holiday, or what you got going on? And then I went around these. I know I didn't color it yet. I will. Same thing. I don't connect every line, but I do kind of want to cover up those little spots where the red comes down, just because, you know, it looks a little bit more finished that way. Got some eraser schmutzy. That wasn't great. You could use a finer tipped marker if you want to do that. I just don't push very hard on this. It seems to work fine. You could also take the stencil again and go around like that, and then you wouldn't get the wonky thing like I did right there. But it's fine. I'm just going to make it worse if I don't quit messing with it. And then I do the same thing, go around the little wrapper ends. Oops. That was the shaky hand. So I think the stencils are about the easiest way to do it, but if you like to doodle, then any of these would be easy to just draw on your own without the stencil, for sure. Yeah, these work so much better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. After she told me that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Isn't it funny, the stuff you just don't think of? I remember when I was a kid, we used to always try to add water to our markers. I mean, it works to a point, but usually just made a big mess. I grew up in the mountains, though, and we didn't have any stores or anything, so it was like we did all kinds of stuff to try to fix things, and, you know, so you don't have to go get more. But that's just the way it was then, too. It's like... Did I use this one? What's it called? Glacier Blue. Yes, I did. So I just kind of went haphazardly when I did the... I didn't fill it all in, like I wasn't trying to cover every bit of that, because it's just giving you the idea that, you know, it's that plasticky stuff that wraps around the candies. So you don't have to fill it in 100%. And you could even take and do like the little, where it's twisted, you know. Something like that, I don't know. And then we can put some splatters on that as well. I'm going to cut it out first, because I don't need the whole piece. And we wanted to make a smaller one on purpose. And I obviously have used, and it moves. No matter how hard I push on there, it still moves. Tim Holtz Decal Edge Trimmer Hair. That's what I am using. See? Pushing, and it doesn't. I don't know what the trick is. I'm not good at it, whatever it is. It's all right. It just adds to the decaliness of it. And then we're going to take some candied red. Oh, let's punch our hole first so I don't smear that all over the place when I try to punch my hole. For a piece of twine or whatever in the world you want to use. Yarn, ribbon. We'll just add our to from first on that one, and we'll add it to this one too. Oh, I didn't go around this one. Let's go around that one with Mermaid Lagoon. That's the closest I have to that, those blue dots I put on there. It'll give it an icy feel. Okay. That is good. And I got it all over me like always. I didn't leave myself much room, did I? I think that little dot is still wet right there. Did I say hugs and blessings? I don't think I did. Hugs and blessings to LaDonna Betty Ann and Tracy. Thank you guys so much for your kind comments, for watching, always watching my videos and commenting. I really do appreciate it. And welcome to new subscribers, and welcome back to those of you that have been with me for short time, long time. I didn't leave much room for from, did I? Oh well. Like I said, you can put them on the back if you need to. Oh, I got that all over there. Thought I wiped my hands off. Well, I did not. Darn, that's not good. That's the only problem with all this. I always manage to make a mess. I'll just keep that one for me. I'm gonna put some green splatters on that one. Summer days. So mad I did that. Okay, there's another one. Just try not to make a mess of yours. It helps if you can like do a step, let it dry, that kind of thing. That helps a lot. I don't want to tie anything on those yet because I'll just make a bigger mess. What else do we have? Oh, we have a gingerbread man. Let's do our gingerbread man since I have kind of gingerbread colored, whatchamacallit, paint. I'm going to just erase him a little. And I just used the stencil to get the outline of the gingerbread man, and then, you know, drew in his little features. I know he's hard to see once you erase, but I don't want all those pencil lines if I can help it. I can still see it well enough. I don't know if you guys can. Towel again, because I always get too much water. I'm very good at that. Do you guys make gingerbread cookies? I've never made gingerbread cookies before. I grew up without a mom and my step grandmother wasn't really into it, that kind of thing. And my dad cooked fabulous dinners, but he did not bake. He was not, which is understandable. I was excited when my kids got to do that in 4-H. I think I messed up on his legs. Oh well, because I can't, I mean, I can see a little bit the outline, but not enough. So I guess I shouldn't have erased so much, huh? My son really enjoyed the cooking. He did that baking and stuff and making bread and all of it. He loved doing that. My daughter was more into the sewing in 4-H. She liked to make clothes, and she made a quilt her last year. That was really cool. We went and used one of those machines. I have no idea what they're called. But that do the quilting, you know, you have to move it around and stuff, but it was really cool because I'd never messed with any of that kind of stuff. And my daughter did the fashion shows. If y'all have ever been involved in 4-H, you will know that pain of sitting in a 100-degree tent for hours waiting for them to do fashion shows or whatnot. Oh my goodness. Any kind of 4-H, honestly. We didn't do the animal stuff because we didn't have a place for all that, but I always felt bad for the people that had the animals, you know, and you gotta sit in those hot pin areas, and it's always the hottest time of the year too. I'm gonna go ahead and do the little feet and hands. I do want to do the white, but I think the white should go over this color fairly easily, hopefully. I was trying to go around all that, but I think I'm just gonna paint it in and not worry about it. I am leaving a few little bits of white just because I like that. Probably be much better at this if I did it more. It's like anything. You could also just do a wash on the background, like I mentioned with the little house. And then, I'm just gonna, I'll figure out his mouth. Draw in whatever design you want with a black fine line, Sharpie or Micron or whatever. That would work pretty good. That way you wouldn't have to fiddle around with all the little bitty details. And it would still give you a cool Christmassy look, I think. I just wanted to do the total painting, and you can do like I did before too, which I already showed that video. If you haven't seen the Christmas Fodder video, I used the stencils. I just did a masterboard kind of thing, a whole page of just watercolor all over the whole page, and then I just cut it into, well, I didn't even cut it, did I? I just drew the little stencils on, cut them out, and then did some doodles on them. That works good too. That way you don't have to do this. But if you really want the hand painted look, you know, it's kind of like part of your gift, right? When you do things like this and put them on your gifts, it's something special. So it is fun to do that type of thing. Okay, I think I'm gonna let this dry because I really can't do any more until it dries, and then we'll just move on to the little string of lights. If I can find, where did I set it? See, the problem is I have too many projects going and too many things all over my desk. I did mail out the Christmas journal today, which made me a little sad. I always have people say, how can you know, send them off? It's like, well, if I don't, I would be buried. And I really don't write in journals, so it's sort of a waste for me to keep it. Do I need to erase this a little bit? It just really is. I don't really need the to from on there yet. So this I just did by hand. But you know, you just do a little line, twirl, come down, twirl, go back, you know, make a little plug, and then draw the little bulbs. They're almost like Easter eggs, but they have a little square at the bottom. Oh, hold on just a minute. Okay, so sorry about that. That was my daughter calling, so I took that. This is the string of lights, and I'm going to go around the area where the bulb is, like in a circle kind of. And we're going to put a little color in that too, so that the lights maybe look like they're shining. I have no idea if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. We're going to see what we get. And I'm just going to drip it into this water, which is way too much water, but we can take care of that, so I'm not that worried about that, because we can just kind of suck it out of there. I just want to give, you know, the color halo there around the light. I think that would be fun. I'm going to fill in just a little bit right there where I missed. And then I'm going to do the bulb in the same color but darker. So I'm kind of sucking up some of that water there. And I'm going to try not to, what I should probably do is go do the other halos, but let me see if I can do this a little bit in here. Yeah, I'm probably going to mess it up. So I'm just going to go to the next halo, because I don't want the whole glow to turn darker, if you see what I'm saying. And then I'll come back and do the rest of the color. Sorry, my brain is not working today. So here's another light. So we're going to go over. Whoa, I don't want the red though. There's a little red in there still. And I'll just keep going. And then we can just add a little color to each one, hopefully. That is the cool thing with watercolors, because you can kind of manipulate them a little bit to stay in certain areas, as long as you don't get another area right next to it wet. See, this one might be interesting, because these two are going to sort of run into each other. So I'll have to be careful with that one. Okay, so the next color I think I'll do is yellow. And some colors this will work better with than others. I need to add another corner. I don't know if this will work, but we're trying, we're trying. What color green is that? Oh. Green. Do some blue. I don't know what color blue to do. See, I knew I was going to do that. Darn. Sorry, I get real quiet when I'm doing this. We'll do this one over here before we do that one. What color? Probably the red color again, I think. Because, you know, there's usually not a whole lot of... Sometimes there's orange, huh? I don't want it as bright as what the bulb will be. Yellow. That one would be yellow. Maybe do this one green. Technicalities, right? Okay. Sorry, that was like real silent mode for me. Oh my goodness. Now I'm looking for a green pen. Okay, I'm gonna have to just use one of these because I don't have very many green pens. And I'm gonna treat this like the black, where I just go along. But we're also gonna have to color these a little bit, the little squares, you know, that go into the bulbs. And we'll come back and revisit the bulb. It's just, I wanna let the other part dry. The only thing sometimes with the alcohol markers is they do bleed a little bit. Especially if there's water. And then we'll take a silver. This probably would have been easier to do in pens, but these are those same sort of Signo ball pins. And then we'll fill in our bulbs that are dry. On the little things, if you're doing little designs, I would definitely dry your brush off, you know, every so often. It just helps because it can get way too much water for a very small space. And a yellow. I'll go around these two. Sorry, there's a drop of water right there. And I could see it, and I know it's going to just end up rolling down the brush and right into my... we'll do the black pen around too so that it'll show up nice. And that's another reason you don't have to worry about some of your little mistakes and things, because when you go back with the black pen, you can fix things that might be you're not totally happy with. Blue. There's a little green in there still. The blue one's the odd one out. It didn't get a match. Not enough room. All right, so let's revisit our this little guy. And I'm trying to decide, should his eyes be white or, I'm gonna make them black. I know they probably should be white because you would use your icing, right, to make them, but we're gonna just go with the black. And then I like to do the mouth higher on one side, and I want to do his little buttons in red. And this top one is also a holly leaf that I'll do with pen. I always open the wrong end, like pretty much every time. It's sort of miraculous, honestly. Little holly bow tie. And then we'll use our white, this one that I got. This is I don't know how you say that, but anyway, that's what it is. They're just white acrylic. That's acrylic that I found on Amazon. I'm no connoisseur, so. I do know the Signos. I have heard people say the Signos are good for the fine line thing in white, but I like these thicker ones, you know, for stuff like this. And this is much easier. And with, it's really hard to do white. You can get white watercolor, but it's just really, you can use gouache. backwash works, but I think this is just way easier. And then we'll do a little dot in his eyes. I always feel like they need something else, but I don't know what that would be, but we will do some splatters on there and that'll probably help. Trying not to touch anything that I don't want to touch. I don't want to get a ton on his face. Oh, I did though. I seriously said it and did it. Yeah. And I'll ink around it, but it needs to dry. So I'm not going to mess with that one anymore. I'm sure you guys are about done with me. Let me get this dry. I keep my little tip. I keep my heat gun in a mason jar. Just makes me feel better. I don't know if that would really help, but that's what I do. Hopefully it does, I would imagine. I am going to kind of go along this with the black too. And as you can see, I'm only going around the bulb. I'm not going around the, you know, the light part because I want that to be like light. Yeah, they kind of remind me of Easter eggs a little bit. Those lights. This one I never drew the green box. That was interesting of me. And let's use our little white. They're not all exactly the same size, but that's okay. They're cute. That's all that matters. You could use a stamp too to do this. And this one I'll go ahead and put some that around, and then I will splatter it. They are very fun, and I think they're cute, and I think they're a great gift. Just tie a little something around them and call it good. What color splatter do I want? Maybe we'll do blue, since blue got gypped. All right, that is what I have for you all today. So we have our gingerbread man, a candy. I know I did a candy, but anyway. Oh, I forgot to put 2 from on that one. There's that. Where did I put my other candy that I made today? Oh, it's over here. Our candy and our house. Oops. So that is what we have for 2 froms, and of course they don't all have their strings, but that's an easy thing to do. So I think that's a great gift. I wouldn't give 2 candies in one, but just 1 candy would do. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry I did torture you a little bit, so I will chat with you again soon. Have a fantastic evening. Love ya. Bye.